なこともあろうかと。
サイエンスが未来を切り開く時、シトロニックギアオン。
私ユリイカ、よろしくね。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 103 and 104, otherwise known as the 1 hour special. These were the 1188th and 1189th episodes of the Pokemon anime. There was a lot of hype and anticipation for these episodes, but I thought they were kinda strange. In all honesty, they weren't what I was expecting at all. Let's break it all down. The episode starts with Ash arriving in Lumio City. We already know he's coming here to train with his two former traveling companions, that being Silent and Iris. I think there were some rumors that it was going to be Clement and Bonnie, but those rumors weren't true, at least I don't think so. They look over to where Ash's next World Coronation Series battle is going to be. It's in the same stadium where the Pokemon League was, which is a nice touch. Bonnie does actually show up and knocks Ash into a fountain, and wow, Bonnie sure has grown up a lot since XY, hasn't she? Bonnie catches up with Ash, Iris, and Silent, and this was a nice scene getting to hear all of these former traveling companions talking about what they've been up to since they were last on the show. They decide to all head over to the stadium before the match, but they run into somebody familiar. It's Trip. Wait, what is Trip doing here? I was pretty surprised when I saw him, but then I remember that in the new opening, they did reveal that one of Ash's rivals was returning. And when I went back and looked at that scene again, it's actually Trip. I think since he looks kind of similar to Paul, some people got confused, but here we are. Ash is finally reunited with his best rival ever. So once they go inside the stadium, Ash goes straight over to the PC to transfer some of his Pokemon. I thought this was a strange move since Ash hasn't rotated his team at all so far in Journeys, but it looks like he's bringing someone back. But who? After that cliffhanger, the scene changes to later at night, and of course Ash is struggling to go to sleep ahead of his big battle. He and Pikachu go stare off at the stadium in anticipation of their battle, and then for some reason Ash reminisces about his gym battle against Roxy. Wait, what? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think this is a criminally underrated gym battle, but why in the world is Ash thinking about it at a time like this? This episode has been all over the place so far, and it's about to get a whole lot weirder. So the next day we go to the stadium. It's a packed house, as you would expect for an Ultra Class battle. Then, and hold on to your hats when I try to explain this one, a helicopter flies into the stadium. Of all the characters to return in this 1 hour special, I was not expecting to see Freddy the Scoop Martian as a guest commentator for Ash's battle. This absolute lunatic jumps out of the helicopter, but he does manage to successfully deploy his parachute and land in the commentary position. What just happened? Okay, moving on. Everyone turns to the video board as the match introductions begin. They flash up the matchup for today's Ultra Class battle. It's Ash versus Trip. Alright, that was a twist. I thought we were going to see Ash versus Dracaena today, but apparently there was a last minute schedule change by the World Coordination Series Committee, and now Ash is going to have a battle against Trip. Didn't see that coming, but neither did Ash. Trip comes over to square up to Ash, but his intimidation tactics don't work. It just makes Ash even more fired up than normal. Just as the first episode is about to draw to a close, it's finally time for the battle to start. The two competitors take to their positions. I didn't see either Trip or Ash wearing any Keystones, Z-Rings, or Dynamax bands, so it looks like this will be a straight-up battle. Interesting. The referee announces that it will be a one-on-one battle, and Trip chooses his superior. A little predictable, but it makes sense. As for Ash, I was expecting for this to be the moment when we would find out what Pokemon he recalled to his team earlier, but instead he just chooses Pikachu. Seriously? I'm so confused. I mean, I know there was that schedule change that meant Ash wasn't going to be battling Dracaena anymore, but I thought this was supposed to be about Dracovish and Sirfetch'd, not Pikachu. Ash's friends don't seem to mind, they're just excited to see Ash battle again. The battle begins with Pikachu missing a quick attack, with Superior being able to dodge an Iron Tail as well. Things are getting pretty tense early on, but Trip takes the initiative and lands a hit with Dragon Tail. The first episode comes to an end with Pikachu seemingly in dire straits, but this battle isn't over by a long shot, so let's just jump straight into the next episode. Episode 104 starts off with a recap of the battle up until this point, so let's just get past that part. Ash is kind of getting dominated early on here, so his friends are worried, but Pikachu is ready to keep on battling. Trip has Superior fire off an Energy Ball next. It lands head on for even more devastating damage. Ash is getting rattled at this point, and this allows Superior to get control of Pikachu. This is kind of a throwback to when Ash was terrified because of B's Octolock earlier in Journeys. Ash tries to counter with a Thunderbolt, but Trip tells Superior to use its tail as a ground to dispel the electricity, which was really smart. Things are looking pretty bleak, but it's at this moment that Ash starts to remember all of his previous battles against Trip, and this makes him even more desperate to win. But honestly, I can't see Pikachu winning at this point since all Trip has to do is keep this wrap applied and this battle should be over pretty soon. Of course, that's not what happens because luckily for Ash, Trip makes a terrible mistake here and calls for Superior to slam Pikachu into the ground. But this gives Ash the smallest window of opportunity to tell Pikachu to use Iron Tail to break its fall, and it ends up surviving and breaking free of Superior's hold. The battle is getting pretty intense now, but clearly Pikachu is almost out of energy, and it easily loses out in an Iron Tail versus Dragon Tail clash. Now is as good a time as any for Ash to have one of his mid-battle epiphanies, and he decides to go for broke and calls for some kind of super electric Iron Tail maneuver. Honestly, I don't know what was happening here. This just seemed like a pretty contrived way to use a powerful attack when a Z move would have just made more sense. But anyways, Pikachu collides with another Dragon Tail and we get the predictable giant explosion. It seems like this could be the decisive blow to end the battle. When the smoke clears, Pikachu is barely able to stand, but Superior, well, it doesn't look so good. Superior is declared unable to battle, and the victory goes to Ash. They announce him as the victor, but for some strange reason, they don't tell us what his new ranking is. Come to think of it, we never even found out what Trip's rank was at all, although maybe this just got lost in translation somewhere. I am watching this without subtitles. Ash offers Trip a handshake after a good battle, and although Trip is hesitant, he does eventually accept, and the two rivals part ways on good terms. To celebrate his victory, Ash heads over to the sauna. This seemed totally random to me, but alright, let's go with it. We see over in another area of the sauna that Pikachu and Oshawott are relaxing in some hot tub. I guess this means Oshawott was the Pokemon that Ash recalled in the last episode. Anyways, Ash is now more determined than ever to win the World Coronation Series, but instead of the usual tease of the Masterclass, this episode ends with another preview of some of Ash's upcoming opponents. And can you believe it? Virgil, Cameron, and Stefan were all shown. Whoa, what a way to end the 1 hour special. Alright, where do I even start with discussing this episode? In all honesty, I'm not sure why this 1 hour special ended up being so much different from what we were expecting. I mean, we did get to see Bonnie return, but she was so much older all of a sudden. I didn't really get it. She even looked a little bit like Bianca from the Best Wishes series, but maybe I'm just seeing things. As for the surprise returns of Silent, Iris, and Trip, those were all really cool. I have to admit, I was excited for Paul to return when we saw the new opening, but I think we all just got ahead of ourselves, and if we had looked a little closer, we would have seen that this was Trip all along. Oh well. As for Ash's battle, I can't say I was that pumped up for Dracaena to be Ash's next opponent, so the last minute switch to Trip was actually a fun twist for me. That said, and maybe I am just going crazy here, but didn't this battle remind any of you of Ash and Trip's battle back at the Unova League? I know I may be reaching again here, but remember when Ash had his gym battle against Clement and the start of that battle mirrored the first battle that Ash and Clement ever had together? I think this Ultra Class battle was meant to be an ode to Ash and Trip's rivalry in a very similar way, so I guess that was a cool throwback. Maybe they even mentioned this in the stands, but since I wasn't watching with subtitles, I couldn't really understand a lot of the dialogue in either of these episodes. A big letdown for me was that weird cliffhanger of Ash bringing back one of his Pokemon. This had so much potential, but it just ended up being Oshawott. Don't get me wrong, I like Ash's Oshawott, but why did it come back just to end up relaxing in a hot tub? That seems really strange to me. I don't really want to rate each individual episode until I watch them back with the subtitles, so for now I'm just going to give the 1 hour special overall a 7 out of 10 rating. Seeing all the returns was cool, and that tease of Ash's upcoming opponents was a really fun way to end the episode. Ash vs Stefan at the Unova League is a hidden gem of a battle, and I definitely want to see Ash get his revenge on Cameron. As for Virgil, that's a matchup that we haven't seen before, so I am really glad that the World Coronation Series is giving us the opportunity to finally see that battle. I bet Chloe would like to see Virgil's team Eevee in action. In general, I had a lot of fun watching this 1 hour special. The episodes ended up playing out a lot different than I was expecting, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. After all, the anime did heavily promote that these episodes were going to come out on April 1st, so maybe we should have expected some kind of April Fool shenanigans all along. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about these episodes, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time.